This episode of Unboxed was brought to you by Ava Media and Oz Game Shop. Alright, review. It's no surprise that Zelda Wii U won't be coming out for another year or so. I mean, Ocarina was released 2 years after the N64, and while Twilight Princess was on the Wii, it was still just a port, so we had to wait almost, 5 years to get a Zelda game made for Wii? So we know what it's like. So to tie us over until then, we have been lucky to get a remake of Windwaker. Notice I said remake. Now, before I start this review, I feel I need to bring something up. But, okay. Here is the biggest problem with our gaming world. Every single day, I'm seeing non-stop articles and comments, inaccurate and ignorant comments, made towards a company that millions of people around the world, including yours truly, gladly supports. Do they deserve my undying support? Absolutely not. They make decisions that I question just like everyone else. But it seems that coming to this company's defense more than anyone else makes you nothing more than an unrespected fanboy. Let's make this clear. Despite the comments being made, this isn't, I repeat, isn't a port. Especially a lazy port. A port is when they take code from one device and put it somewhere else with only a few minor tweaks, like the Virtual Console or those Xbox Arcade releases of N64 rare titles. What Wind Waker HD is, by using the Wii U hardware, building everything again from scratch. Also known as a remake. You know, that thing you've been banging on Square and Sony to do for years now, as well as Nintendo for another Zelda game that you... Oh, God, am I gonna get into that now? You know what? Fuck it. Shades back on. Let's review this sucker. Now, how the hell am I gonna review a game I've already reviewed? Well, first off, let's see what's new here. First off, they have toned down the cell shading for a more HD with bloom feel. You no longer have to assign the sail, Wind Waker or crane to the buttons, as they are automatically assigned to the D-pad and sail to the A button. But besides a few improvements, everything's still here. The vast open world still feels just as big with no loading times, the towns are still vivid, treasure still fills the ocean, and of course, all the characters are here. Tetra, Midley, Grandma, and of course... Fuck. Well, guess HD isn't good for everything. A major addition is the adding of a swift sail. When Wind Waker was developed for the GameCube, the boat sailed at that speed to allow the world to load at a proper time. But with the new tech, you can now buy the swift sail from the auction house and sail without the need of the wind direction. Personally, I had no problem with the sailing speed, it just made the world feel that much bigger. The Wii U gamepad also allows for instant access to the map and inventory. You can play with the Pro Controller for a more old school feel, but just glancing at the map feels much easier. Shame though that you can't write notes on the map like you could on the DS game. Oh, and the boomerang has gyro controls. Because, you know, those gyros were sure expensive. The biggest new feature is Hero Mode, which has enemies deal twice as much damage and hearts are not found in pots or grass, which alone makes the game really difficult, especially in the beginning. I died thanks to choo-choos, for Christ's sake. With no hearts, the player has to rely on potions and fairies. Windwaker on the GameCube was not a hard game, but I had trouble getting through the first dungeon on Hero Mode. Fortunately, it can be toggled on and off. While the original still looks great today, graphically the Wii U version is vastly superior. Besides the fact it's now in widescreen, the game is in native 1080p. But the frame rate is another story. I've heard conflicting reports about the frames per second. Some say 30, some say 60. And while I did see some moments when the frame rate dipped, that didn't really turn me off the game. Seriously? If your opinion of a game is weighed on how many frames it apparently performs at, then find another hobby. Or watch another show. Oh, and what would a first-party Wii U game be without Miiverse integration? Using the PictoBox, Link can take photos and share them via Miiverse, as well as taking selfies. As long as he doesn't do duck faces, then he can post whatever he likes. Almost everything. The Miiverse photos are sent via messages in bottles, and throughout the game, messages from random players are littered throughout the world. While it's true Wind Waker HD is nothing more than a 13-year-old game with prettier graphics, it's the fact that it's Wind Waker more than justifies its release. And all the reviews I've seen agree with that. Anyway, it should be pointed out that Wind Waker HD's development was helped out by Hexadrive, the company responsible for bringing Okami to the PS3. So, Hexadrive, if you're watching this... think about it! Think about it! If only. Well guys, thank you for watching my review of Wind Waker HD. Next week, however, we're going to have another What the Fuck Happened. See you then.